How can different? Well, of course. But if you were here right now and I spoke Spanish and you only spoke English, we wouldn't be able to have this debate. What kind of country is that?
It's a country of diversity. If
but diversity is not a good thing. If people in your own family couldn't speak the same language, would that be good?
If we had a method of communication, I could have someone translate to me. I can talk to them. What makes it?
You want to have a translator in your family?
Guys, apparently diversity is our strength means having to use Google Translate to argue with your new neighbor. Brilliant. Today, Witt goes head-to-head with a college student over campus talking points on American culture and assimilation, while his opponent desperately tries to explain why national cohesion is overrated. Subscribe for daily uploads. This is America only.
I'm incredibly pro-immigration.
Okay.
Obviously, my family...
Pro-legal immigration?
Oh, no, I mean... Immigration, legal immigration, illegal immigration, just people coming over here. I think one of my main problems with this whole argument with illegal immigration is that we spend billions of dollars on ICE, yet these immigration services are super underfunded. It takes immigrants 10 plus years to get a legal immigration here, and then we kick them out before they can. I feel like instead of spending all this money on ICE, we spend it on getting people here legally, making ICE's job a lot easier because these people that come here to work.
Well, let me ask you this question. Why do you want more people to come here?
Because we're the United States of America. Everyone immigrated here. We're a land of immigrants.
No, we are a land of settlers, and then we had immigrants.
Dude, like, why are college students programmed with all of these sayings and phrases? Diversity is our strength. We are a nation of immigrants. Bullshit. America's full. Sorry about your luck.
Immigrants when something was already built.
But how did the settlers get here? They immigrated here.
No, they settled here. There was nothing here, so they settled here. They built. No, it's not. The semantics are important because the settlers from Europe came in here, settled the land, built something, and that is completely different than immigrating here.
Okay, but what about I'm an Irish immigrant. I came here after.
Right, so that would be an immigrant. Right? Yeah, but the original people who are in this country settled this country, and then people immigrated here later. So the original people were settlers.
Other than the settlers, the majority of people here still immigrated here. Pre or post settlement, my family came here. They said, "Oh, I want to work here." It was that easy.
And they came here legally.
Yeah, they came here. But do you know how easy it was to come here legally 150 years ago? Now,
you know what, sir? I think we can reach a compromise. Maybe we should obtain Greenland and all of the illegal immigrants. We can all just put them on a nice little happy island and they can prove themselves to become American citizens. I mean, maybe even, set up a little camp and they can work until they're set free. Just a thought.
They got to wait 10 plus years. I hear so many.
Yeah, there's also some use to that. Back in the day, they had literacy tests and English tests for the people who are coming into this country. They don't have that now.
Yeah, and
these are the kind of things that were safeguards on America for actually the people that you allowed into this country.
Yeah.
But the safeguards are not there anymore, and there should be more safeguards, and then maybe it'd be an easier process.
Yeah, and I agree. I don't think we should just open borders. I think open borders, you can't vet.
That's good.
You can't vet any immigrants. Obviously, if you have people coming in committing crimes that you can't enforce, that's a huge problem. But also 10 plus years, I think we should have these vetting processes, but it should be 10 times easier to get through these vetting processes. I think, again, I know people that came here that spent multiple years working here. They work extremely hard. They work harder than even me, yet they aren't seen the same as me as a citizen. But yet they just can't come in because of our systems, that these systems, they're kind of stuck in limbo of becoming an immigrant.
Well, and you want to know what's fucked up about all of this? People always see the color dynamic of white, Hispanic, white, black. I knew a Mexican business owner who utilized illegal immigrants and paid them like shit, had them all living in the same apartment. And whenever they would call in sick, that would be a strike against them. And eventually he would just kick them out onto the streets to just be picked up by ICE. He used the fear of ICE and deportation to basically exploit his workers. Yeah, you don't hear about that in your liberal arts classes.
I understand. My question to you is, if these people are such hard workers and good people in doing this, why don't they go back to the country they came from and make that place better with all their hard work?
Because it's a systematic issue. I can't.
What does that mean,
system.
systematic issue?
The same way I can't change the U.S. politics the way they can't change their own politics. I, as an individual person, I can vote, I can do what I can, but my decision does not have a broader range of like effects, because I don't have money, I don't have power, I don't have that like political influence to make these changes. They don't have that influence, they don't have that power, they don't have that money.
Right. So with legal immigrants, I can see your point, and I'm with you. Illegal immigrants, obviously not. But the world, America is not the bastion of the world that everyone has a right to come here, right? Not everyone has I mean, you don't have a right to come to America if you don't live here. That's just the way it is. If I were to go into Mexico right now and just say, oh, I'm going to live here, they'd kick me out and send me back. Right? And they'd be right to do so, because it's not my country. I don't pay taxes in that country. I'm not a citizen of that country. I don't contribute to the country. It'd be the exact same thing.
I think.
Yeah, I say that we all flood these communist countries, you know, whites, Europeans, Americans. We all flood these communist countries and demand that they change their street signs to be in English, you know, and then start holding our Christian celebrations out into the streets. I mean, that's what they're doing to us, and everybody seems to be okay with it. And America is, it's not a melting pot. Sorry to say that. America's not a melting pot. It is more like a soup, as a guy named Israel once said. I mean, that's pretty crazy, right? But yeah, it is a soup. Everybody has their own little enclaves, and together it should be a really tasty soup. But right now it's like one of them Indian diarrhea street food vendor soups.
America is the bastion of the world. This country, we've had multiple waves of not only settlers, but immigrants just coming in. Some of the greatest U.S. minds are immigrants that came here from different countries, whether it was Einstein, who was a German settler, whether it was, like I said, all our great athletes who, you know, are different ethnicities around the world. You look at pretty much all our pro leagues, like all of them are immigrants.
Right.
Well, they can be great over there.
We have so many.
I'm with you on the legal immigrant. I can see your total point there. And the legal immigrant, for the most part, is going to be fine if the people are going through the right process. Now, to say that we need to make it easier to allow more people in here, I would disagree with you. I don't think it's necessarily necessary. I think that America is pretty full, and the people who are already in this country are suffering. And I want to take care of the people who are in America who are suffering before we let more people in. From the 1940s to the 1960s, we didn't have basically any immigration to this country, illegal or legal. And it was one of the biggest economic booms in our country's history after World War II. And we just made this country better during that time.
But I feel like...
And then we've opened the floodgates.
I feel like attributing immigration to economic boom or decline is just kind of not the right correlation.
They're completely correlated. If you have two houses and then someone comes in legally or illegally, and there's already two people wanting to buy it, and now you have a third person, that puts a demand on the market. I mean, it's just basic economics.
But if you build a third house and you have more people coming in, buying stuff, creating more jobs, creating more businesses, there's more money in circulation, more money coming in. It's not like...
Yeah, who will clean your toilets, Mr. Trump? Remember when Kelly Osbourne said that cringe-ass shit and totally exposed what the leftists want? They want an underclass, a permanent labor force. And even when it comes to electric vehicles, you know, they want electric vehicles in America and Canada. And how do you think they get the lithium, guys? They use little black African kids to dig out the lithium from mines. It's like I always say, leftists are truly more America first than a lot of Republicans. They just don't like the PR of it. But yeah, they will definitely exploit people for their own gain.
Like, oh, they're only taking houses. If I can't afford a house as a U.S. citizen, what do you think someone from El Salvador coming here with nothing in their pockets can afford a house over me? It's not.
But in the sense, we're not just a country of GDP and economics. We're a country of values, right? Mm-hmm. And if people, you're saying, you know, some guy from El Salvador, for me, it's a problem when I look at California and a majority of the young people under the age of 30 speak Spanish and don't speak English very well.
I just thought about it. Will Witt is kind of like the based Zach Morris.
That's a problem. It's a problem that these people don't speak English.
I personally don't. I mean, I guess that's just where we're different.
Well, of course. But if you were here right now and I spoke Spanish and you only spoke English, we wouldn't be able to have this debate. What kind of
hey, Slater, maybe you and your family should go back to Mexico. I don't know.
What country is that?
It's a country of diversity.
No, but diversity is not a good thing. If people in your own family couldn't speak the same language, would that be good?
If we had a method of communication, I could have someone translate to me. I can talk to them. What makes it?
You want to have a translator in your family?
I don't. If I can communicate with them, I can talk to them. It doesn't make them less human. It doesn't make us.
I'm not saying it makes them less human. But
you
can't. If you can't have a common culture, a common communication with your neighbors, then they're not your neighbors. They're foreigners in your land. If you can't.
Exactly. This dude is so full of shit. So I'm from Michigan, right? And one time I was driving through Detroit, I got lost and was driving through random neighborhoods. And I stop at a stop sign that's directly next to a park. And when I look at the park, all I see are walking bed sheets with eye holes, let's just say. Like everybody was staring me down like, you don't belong here. And this is in Detroit. This was in America, probably not even 3 years ago. So yeah, whenever you have like a population cluster and an outsider intrudes, like you're totally treated like shit. It doesn't matter the history of your oppression or any of that bullshit. But yeah, just something that happened to me. Anything like that happen to you guys, let me know below.
Communicate with them by speaking with them. They're not your neighbor.
And I feel like there's so many, like, not only there's so many values that just transcend this language barrier. I feel like there's so many ways to communicate other than just language, and there's so many ways to form camaraderie other than language. I don't think human interaction is just, oh, if you speak the same language or if you don't.
Of course
you
not.
can speak whatever language. I'm going to find a way to relate. I'm going to find a way to become friends with you. I feel like that shouldn't be difficult.
That's true. I went to Japan and I went all around the country. And I can tell you it was so difficult to get around that country because I can't understand a word that they are saying in Japanese.
Yeah.
And so now you have people who are coming into this country who can't understand the things that I'm saying. That is wrong. The people who should be coming here should be able to speak English, right? That should be part of the test, that if you're coming to be a legal immigrant into this country, you should speak English.
But
that builds a cohesive culture of people who can communicate, who can do
at
business,
the bare
who can
minimum.
get things done. That's what happened with all the immigrants that you're talking about, Irish immigrants. These people assimilated into the culture. The German immigrants, the Austrian immigrants, the English immigrants, the Italian immigrants, they assimilated and they spoke the same language and it worked really well. But if you have people coming in who don't speak the same language, who don't have the same values, then I don't want you here. I want to take care of the Americans who are suffering before people who don't share the same values and don't share the same culture or language.
It's kind of weird to tell them, hey, you need to learn another language when I only know one language. I
Why?
understand because we don't have a...
Why is that wrong?
We don't have a national language. Like, it's not...
We should. And it should be English.
I guess that's where we disagree, but...
You know, if I go to another country, I shouldn't expect them all to learn English. Should I go to Mexico and expect all the Mexicans to learn English to make me feel better?
I mean, a lot of people...
No, of course not.
Dude, and even the Mexicans that have lived here for like a generation or two still don't fucking know English, so yeah.
I mean, it's a ridiculous question. So if you come to America, you learn English. If I go to Mexico, I learn Spanish. If I go to Japan, I learn Japanese.
And again, it's
That's
just...
what culture is. That's how they're cohesive.
I understand it. I think we just have a different outlook on American culture.
That's fine.
American
that's
culture,
fine.
yeah, like I said, I appreciate the diversity. I consider us a very diverse, again, multiple languages, multiple races, multiple backgrounds, and I don't mind that. I think if I can't communicate with everyone in my nation, that's fine, as long as you're here, good person, trying to work, doing a good job. The other thing about, you were talking about suffering, like we need to prioritize American suffering. I don't like this rhetoric of that these immigrants are directly leading to American suffering and not the wealth disparity. I think if you look at the 50s economic boom, you look at the wealth disparity in the 50s, it was the closest it's ever been. And ever since then, it's just becoming bigger and bigger. And the American people have only been suffering more and more. And I think that's...
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I think illegal immigration is one part to play to that. But I think those people, like you're talking about, I'm going to assume, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but you're basically saying that there's these people at the top who are getting richer and richer, and the wealth disparity is getting worse and worse.
Yes.
Those people at the top, those rich people, they love illegal immigration. They love it because it disrupts the country and it makes people poorer. Illegal immigration leads to a net loss for the country by having these people come in. I mean, it's just basic economics. If you flood the country with people, then you're going to depress wages. And so we're talking about the wealth gap and all this kind of stuff. If the wages for normal working class people are depressed because illegal immigrants come in and depress those wages, you're going to have big issues.
Yeah, they just don't get it. They just don't get it, base Zach Morris. And they never will. Sorry about the weather. I mean, if you guys want to see what the weather is looking like.
Thanks for logging on to my...
All right, my bad. But yeah, we just watched a video of Turning Point USA's Will Witt completely demolishing that dweeb. I mean, they have the same arguments and criticisms that we have about the country, but they just won't accept that illegal immigration, and immigration as a whole plays a huge part of it in it. That's why this is America only. We believe in closing down the borders, you know, making American products for Americans by Americans, and just letting the rest of the world rot into their little Marxist hellhole that they've created. It's crazy. Well, if you like videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe. I am dropping multiple videos every single day. Thank you for watching, and remember, it's not America first or America last, but America only.